what we loved or brought us alive as kids brings us alive now. What's the reason you bring this up, Paul? I'm glad you asked. Because part of finding your Dharma means is really about reconnecting to what you already found. And Brian even said it, but when I was saying you were like, yo, you found it. That's part of the Dharma, peoples. Like
notice how we were smiling when we were saying it, man. I guarantee you, Art, if you had one of those what's those things where you can see the chakras, if you were clairvoyant, our heart chakra would be like hitting the screen now. And you get so many people that are so depressed, so much negative energy. And if they just started talking about what they love to do and actually followed into it and stop being so negative with bullshit, like, oh, I can't do it, I got this, and all these excuses, and just fucking do it. Like, the world you would be a better place. You would be in a better place. And by you being in a better place, it would make the world a better place.
My guy, B. Woo. Yo, what is up, man? Damn, Brian. It's been like several days since we connected, man. How you doing, bro?
It's not you, it's me, man. Not you. The famous line.
Yeah. Many old times. It's not
Keep him busy, man. Keep him busy. Doing expressing my my Dharma. Doing things I feel are my strengths, and I'm trying to build off those strengths, and which I'm trying to buy another business now. That's what's going on in my life. Trying to buy another business. So I'm working on phones or all these companies trying to get this thing going, and it's I have 10 different phones on me. I'm like, so my head's spinning, but I love it. That's one thing I love is organized chaos. I like having a lot of different things. I can't just sit still. I mean, I can, but like I get bored after a while. Like I need to create things. I need to build things. I need to progress things. So I like organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
Yeah. It gives me it gives me a purpose, it gives me meaning, which I like. So I could never retire. I don't know how people retire and just sit there all day and not do anything.
There's no such thing as retirement, man.
No.
I think that's a whole bunch of hogwash. That they put out there so people will just slow down and consume more than they produce.
Yeah.
I'm curious, man. You said this word Dharma. What is that? What is Dharma, man?
So Dharma, I mean, there's a lot of spiritual terms based around it, so which have different meanings for it, used in different parts of the world, and Dharma is one of them. So Dharma is known as what they call cosmic law, which means the essential nature of the universe. All right. So the closest term that we have in English to Dharma is actually nature. So Dharma means being in nature. So, for example, each particle in the universe has an intrinsic way of just being. It has an essential nature. So, for example, like water's Dharma or nature is to be fluid, is to be shapeless. So these attributes that carry out the nature of this element, those are the attributes that carry out the nature of the element. So it's
so for example, like as you're saying this, I'm thinking about the tulips in my front yard. There's I think there are two that look similar, yet each like patch has its own distinct nature. Is beautiful, even scent. Yes. So that's their Dharma.
That's their Dharma.
Wow.
That's their state of just being in nature.
So people, first of all, welcome. We get into it because I'm excited to talk about this. Welcome to this More Than Black or White Health podcast. This is Paul and Brian. Thank you for joining us. If this is the first time that you're joining us, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a podcast here. We're going to talk about some things that most people fail to talk about, or most people talk about. And Brian, people talk about stuff and they'll be like, yeah, Dharma, how does that?
Yeah.
Like that old cat from The Living Color who'd be like, let me pontificate on the roundosity. You know what I mean? They'll talk some stuff like this.
Oh, what a great show anyway.
That was a great show, bro.
Yeah.
What? Oh, Lord God.
You can't put that out in this day and age.
Bro, that show get canceled.
It'd be canceled in the first 5 minutes.
Rat. You see the freaking Be Right Back old buzzers they have from the old school. Like, we interrupt this broadcast. But like, so people, welcome to the podcast. Listen, Brian and I were here, like, we like to have fun. We also are passionate about helping you find your version of health and well-being. And usually we're talking about things like nutrition, health. Today, this is a component of health and well-being. And this is also in alignment with what Brian and I talk a lot about, with you finding your unique way, your way, your nature. So today we're talking about Dharma. Free of being confused with karma. B, let's set the boundary right now. There's a difference between karma and dharma. Okay. Karma is you did something, it's coming back to your ass. Brian, is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah, it's a good way. It's a good way to describe it.
Okay, yeah. Karma can also be like, I've heard the term karmic debt. Have you ever heard this being?
Absolutely, yeah.
So like you did something. Now, disclaimer. This could get woo-woo at times, and we're letting you know that there is science to this. And karmic debt, like sometimes if you've done something, like they talk about this in like spiritual circles. If you've done something in one life, then it's going to come back in another, or you get to address it. I don't like to say come back. It's almost like it's something bad. It's basically a universal law, cause and effect. If you do something, it's going to result in this. B, is there anything I'm missing here? So I want to
no, it's interesting. I took a course a while ago, and I'm sorry. I was doing an ayahuasca ceremony, and something came up where somebody kind of like did me dirty, and it brought up in my memory and brought up in my journey. And I was talking to the shaman. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Well, how did you react to it?" And I was like, "Well, I got even, you know." And he was like, that was your chance to fulfill your karmic obligation. So basically, like if somebody does something bad to you, your first reaction is to kind of get even.
Right.
But the reason that person did something bad to you is because in a past life, you did something bad to them. So it takes what he was saying, it takes a very mature, spiritually mature human being to be present, to be awakened, to understand that, listen, I need to let this go. It doesn't mean you're weak, or doesn't mean that's an ego talking. That means you become awakened and spiritually mature, and knowing that you need to let it go, because in your next lifetime, some shit's going to happen to you. Everything that happens to you, it's a cause and effect. It's a karmic obligation that your guardian angel, your soul, whatever you want to say it, had this relationship with their guardian angel and their soul, and be like, all right, in this lifetime, we're going to butt heads again. Let's see how we kind of figure this out. Can you learn your lesson? Mm-hmm. So that I was like, ooh. You know, I've always been very, growing up, very reactive. And then I do stupid things, and I realize later that was not the best thing.
I could have handled that differently.
I could have handled that a lot better. So
I mean, do better next time. I thought about I've been there, man, with all these damn kids, man. Like I'd be like, I'll do better next time. Mm-hmm. Damn, here's another one. But like I think it's, you know, Brian, I think it's really cool that we're talking about this, and I want to make sure that we stay on the Dharma topic. But I want everyone, I think it's important for everyone to understand that there's a difference between karma and dharma. And it's so funny before we go back into the dharma piece. And if you have questions, you're like, what's karma? Don't worry. Be free of worry. We're going to do a show on karma too. We've decided. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, B, when it was so funny when you were talking about like the spirit guides and like they make agreements. Yeah. I've always thought about that. Like spirits are at a card table and they're like, yo, man, so you know what? Oh, So you're gonna be rich this lifetime? Okay, so now listen. Now you gotta make sure that you become okay. I got poverty. I got sickness. Nobody wants that. Okay, well somebody gonna get it. All right? It's like they toss it around and like they make these karmic agreements.
It's almost like they're up in another realm or heaven or whatever you believe in, and they're like, all right, here it goes. This is what we work towards. Let's see if they can handle it maturely. Fuck. All right, we'll get them next lifetime.
Yep, exactly. Like, they got a spiritual bet MGM. Like, yo, what's the over under that he gets before 25?
Yeah.
Damn.
These humans they're messing things up, man.
Damn egoic humans.
Yeah.
Meat suits. But like, so we joke around, but it's important that we create this distinction, and we're going to talk about this another time. Coming back in alignment with karma, though, is this Dharma is an important piece, because one of the things like I've taken on, or I've learned from spiritual teachers and even from my spirit guides and journeys, is that for me to fully address or fully complete a karmic debt, like I get to be in my Dharma, my true nature. And that can be part of a person's spiritual journey. It can be part of a person's life journey. And the fact that a person even embarks on the journey to find their Dharma is in itself an incredible feat. So we want to talk more about this and really get into this concept of Dharma, your true nature, and what's blocking it, and then what you can start to do to really get on your line, get on your path, man. So Brian, man, when it comes to Dharma, man, okay. When it comes to Dharma, man, what's the reason it's so important for someone to even know what this is?
I look at it as you have a unique set of abilities, a unique set of like intrinsic attributes that no one has ever had, no one has, or no one will ever have again. Yeah. And you're given these attributes to fulfill a certain purpose, fulfill a karmatic contract by using your Dharma. Mm-hmm. And I think too many people, I mean, we're going to get into a little bit later why people don't, but I think too many people are wanting to be like other people, or they don't feel comfortable in their own skin, and they try to be something they're not, or they try to be like somebody else. And the universe, the spirit, the soul does not like a carbon copy. So you not only do you have a duty or an obligation to fulfill what you need to do, but it's if you don't fulfill it, you're holding back a lot of other people. You're holding back other people from accomplishing their karmic obligation too.
Man, and it seems like it's almost counterintuitive. Like, if by me stepping out, or by me like really being my true self, like it's going to help somebody else. And the thing is that the little things you do have an impact. I think that's the thing, Brian, that jams people up about Dharma. I'm making a judgment. Like, I think most people think that they fail to have an impact. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think they think, well, who am I?
Yeah, that's ego talking. A lot of people fall in the trap where they feel like they're not good enough, or like, oh, what can I possibly do? Or you get people on the totally end of the spectrum, like, or very massively ego, like inflated on the other end. So you get people on the either. There's nobody, like, it's very rare to find somebody that is neutral on the inside. We talked about this last time with the hertz and everything like that, and the frequencies, where neutrality is that's a very high vibration, and people got to get out. Again, I think people got to get out of the trap where you're not saying that they're saying I'm not good enough, or they worry too much. I'm like, no, like you're literally a piece of God. Like you're a piece of love. Like you had these attributes to do something. Use them.
Dude, brother, amen. Amen. And this is one of the things we are going to talk about this later, because I think that the self-talk and the ego are what keep a person safe, right? And the safety is because there's uncertainty in really doing something that's unique. I mean, let's face this. I think most people talk about like, yeah, get out, be awesome and be yourself. But like, that's a scary freaking place, because if you think about it, most people, like, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to speak my own experiences. Like growing up when I was a kid, like growing up in an affluent white town, like a lot of places that I would go, I'd be one of the only ones. And I'm like, shit. And I was a Jehovah's Witness too. I was like, oh, fuck.
But that had to do with a lot of programming. I guarantee when you were 5 or 6, you see kids all the time. They just kind of mingle. And as you got older, people started talking in your ear, people that you trust, people that you love, and that's how you get programmed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And this is important. I know we said we'll talk about it later, but let's get into this now, because I think that even the programming itself is dulling us, man. Because even to think about someone that does something unique, the majority of the time that person could be vilified, man. Like, what are you doing something like this? So let's talk about the programming, like in regards to Dharma, because you mentioned something powerful. Kids, man, they don't care. Like, so what's the kind of programming? You mentioned family, but what kind of programming do you see, or do you notice it taints that or restricts the ability for people to step out in Dharma, man?
We talked about this in past episodes. Like, your first 7 years is your root chakra. Everything you see, you feel, you hear, you sense. It all gets programmed in you for the rest of your life, unless you decide to actually be awakened or you want to change something.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things are. I think your tribe definitely has a direct influence on your fears, which are not real. I think linear education, teaching you how to learn in one way, and that's the only way you can learn, which is the education system is just, complete shit, in my opinion, to a certain extent, depending on, what you're trying to study or what you're trying to get out of your life. And media, social media, people are locked in the TVs and they just sit there brainwashed to eat shitty foods all day, and they're comatose, and they don't feel good about themselves. They're toxic, which makes you more susceptible to brainwashing. I read a book on a famous psychologist back there. I forgot the name of the book, but they was basically saying like 99% of people are brainwashed. They're reactive. They can't sit there and think for themselves. And it's very important to, like we talk about, like set quiet time out for yourself to get more in tune with your natural state of being, instead of having, somebody on TV tell you how to live your life.
Right, it's true. And and again, I think this requires some work. Okay. It requires effort, because it's easy to just listen. It's easy about, what do you want me to do? All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You know what's so crazy? It's a shell game, because so much that's out there. Looking at social media, even going to the supermarket, so many different things. Like I was looking for some like coconut milk. I'm like, there's like 7 brands. So there's all this decision making. There's decision fatigue. I know this is a thing that people. This is a thing. Look that shit up. Decision fatigue. So now I'm tired of making decisions. So when it's time for me to actually think, I'm like, yo, you go ahead. Now guess what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Easy to bro. It's the perfect shell game, bro. It's the perfect freaking shell game, and the impact of this, if we just coming back and bringing this together. I mean, you could call it conspiracy or whatever, but there's a trend, there's a mode, there's a model that's being relayed in our collective. So it makes more sense for people to fall in line rather than be in their Dharma and do some unique, fresh stuff. Because then everybody be like, I wonder if I could do that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like we're breaking out of this bot. We're breaking out of this, the, you know, you want to call it matrix, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's important that we understand that to step out or to step on a path that's your nature, that's unique to you, you're gonna experience some cats that are gonna be
the hero's
shutting
journey,
you
man.
down. Huh?
The hero's journey, man.
Yeah, bro.
You know, you're going, and that's expected, and you want that. That's how you grow. That's how you grow.
Well, you know, actually, B, let me ask you, what's the reason someone would want that? Because I know I get it. I think I have an idea, but like when you say that, what would be the reason that what would be that? What is that?
What do you mean?
That
Why you want to do it?
Yeah, why you want to do that? Yeah.
I think deep down, I mean, most people like they're just like, again, brainwashed. They're going through the day to day, you know, just the same movements throughout the day, wake up early in the morning, you know, jump in the shower, have a bowl of, you know, shit cereal, have like 3 or 4 cups of coffee on the way to work, do a job that they hate. They come home, you know, they get the bitching from the significant other. The kids are running around like crazy, rinse and repeat all day long. And if you're lucky and you do good at a job, you know, maybe they give you a promotion to do more work, have more responsibility, and you get 2 weeks off a year. So after a while, listen, man, I've lived it, you know, and after a while, you start being like, is this it? Like, is this my purpose? Like, to do this do this shit every single day, and you start questioning things. And for me, I'm just lucky. Like, I met so many amazing people throughout my years of just like education and people in my life that I crossed paths with, and everyone basically had the same common denominator, like slow the brain down, start getting into meditation. And what's interesting, as I started getting into meditation, I started having like internal impulses to do something, to be with somebody, to go somewhere. And I wasn't all the time exactly clear why that is, you know, but I also believe that we're getting impulses higher up the column or higher, you know, self or from a spiritual beings to kind of push us. And if you're awake, or when you do become awake, these impulses will actually come into your subconscious, which will be then some kind of type of impulse, which makes you say, okay, I need to do this. And then you do it. And all of a sudden you're like, a new chapter in your life opens up. You see something different. You meet somebody new. And it's like, and people might be like, oh, it's dumb luck. You're lucky you met that person. No, I'm not lucky. I mean, you know, like I had to do the work to get there.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, I forgot what the hell we were talking about, but I just kind of went off on a rant. But.
No, you said, well, what I was hearing you say is like, because I asked you like, what would be the reason people want to do that? And what I'm hearing you say is like, it's like the thrill. It's there's something about there's the thrill of finding, like as you're talking, I'm hearing like, okay, finding these gems and cues that like this instinct that as I start to slow my mind down, boom, I get an instinct. Okay, I don't know what that is. I'm going to do it though. Oh, I got an instinct. I don't know what that is. I'm going to do it though. So I think this is a good time. Like I want us, because it's cool to talk. I mean, like we talked about the distractions, but you know, especially in line with like what Brian and I are intent to do here. Let's now focus on like you aligning to your Dharma, what that's going to require. What are some tips, some tools? Because you know, Brian, you mentioned something really powerful. There's as much as it can be challenges, there's such a beauty and the word that's coming to mind, like an elation of like following your gut and it's right. You're like, oh shit. It's like rediscovering something that you loved, that you haven't done in so long, and then you're like,
yeah,
heart beating, boy. What? So I want to pose a question to the audience, right? And you and I can both answer. What's something that you loved to do as a child? Okay, people out there, what's something that you loved to do as a child? Okay, I'm going to explain this. I'm going to get to this in a minute. I'll answer this. So one of the things I loved to do as a child, I just had a moment. I had a question. I thought I had an answer, but then as I asked the question, I was like, no, that's not it. Originally, my thought was I used to love to draw. I still love to doodle and draw and stuff. I loved it. I loved it. It was like my solace, my calm, my peace place. And as I thought about, that was my original answer, but then as I thought about it, I remembered when I was a kid, in a Jehovah's Witness, we did this theocratic ministry school. So it was like we get this section of the Bible, we have to prep and do a speech, and we get graded and stuff. And I used to love to do the research and put something together, man. I just freaking loved it. And then as much as it sucked during the time, like, getting prepped and stuff. I mean, I was like 8, 9 years old. But I freaking loved it when, after it was all said and done, it was like, yeah, I hooked that shit up, boy. It was a pain in the ass, but I hooked it. It was just like, it just made me feel freaking good. Even though I was uncomfortable getting compliments, I just remembered feeling good that I got that done, man. It was like, I loved that as a kid. Recognizing I love that now too. So
you need to do that on a bigger level, man. That's it. You found it.
I found, bruh.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to do it on a bigger level. Give back.
Bruh. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Yeah, listen. We're gonna get to that in a second, but before I talk about how I'm gonna bring it in now, B, what was it for you, man?
Oh, without a doubt, it was always exploring. It was always exploring. It was funny, like, yeah, bro. You'd be like, we'd be out like 9, 10 years old on bike and be like, hey, what's that mountain over there? What's behind that? I'm like, oh, let's go figure it out. Like, I'm like all about like, we talk a lot. Like, anybody that's listening to this podcast, I love traveling. I mean, I'll go around the world and put me in a village in a third world country, and like, I'll be happy, man. Like, I'll make it work, man. By the end of the night, I'm gonna have like friends, man. Like, we're gonna make it work, bro. I love that, and I've always loved like business. I always loved making money, but like I remember being like, like 9, 10 years old. We have a snowstorm. Most kids are out there, playing football or sitting home playing video games. I would grab a shovel and I would knock on the neighbor's door. Hey, want me to shovel your drive here? $10? Whatever it is. I'd be having lemonade stands. I'd be selling, everything, like anything to do to make some money. I just love the idea of like business, and those two, like, my life really took off when I stopped really putting effort into corporate America and went part-time into that because I just love the atmosphere of health and wellness. And I started building on my own business and purchasing other businesses and stuff like that. And I'm good at it. I've always been good at finding a problem. When you grow up and you don't have that much money, you don't have that much like anything. You become very resourceful. You make shit happen. You don't take no for an answer, And I mean, so like people are like, oh, that's impossible to do. All right, cool. We're gonna do it anyway. We'll figure it out. Back to you on that. That's my model. We're gonna figure it out. It's all good. So when I do good at business, I can travel the world. So I'm absolutely like in love with my life right now. I love it. Is life like always great? No, absolutely not. But I understand, like, for me to grow on a spiritual level, I need to have bad things, not bad things, but just things that will help me grow.
Yeah, man.
And it was interesting. I was reading, I've been diving into a lot of Dr. Robert Gilbert. Anybody out there who hasn't heard of him, watch a couple of his lectures, man. He's phenomenal. And he's like, one of the main reasons.
What is it?
Robert Gilbert, Dr. Robert Gilbert. He does teaches biogeometry with the Rosicrucians and all this other stuff. And one thing that really kind of stuck with me, he said, he's like, when you pass on to another life, you take everything in your subconscious, subtle levels, and you bring that with you. You don't bring obviously your physical body with you. You don't bring any of the material stuff, and that's absolutely useless.
Right.
Absolutely useless. So he's like, people through their whole life, I'm not saying don't work out. Like I love working out. I'll always be in the gym, but he's like, they pay too much attention to the way they look with cosmetics and all this other stuff, collecting assets, collecting material things, collecting money and everything.
Yeah.
And they don't work on themselves enough, which is the most important thing, because that's the only thing you can take with you into your next life. So he's like, the best way to do it is kind of, relax, do like a lot of meditative techniques, yoga, qigong, tai chi, meditation, and just work on yourself, things that you can actually collect for a long time. So it's all about, improving yourself, mental, emotional, all the astral planes and everything like that, which is a whole other episode, which we should talk
about all the bodies. All the bodies in all realms, brother. Okay, yeah, because I was about to go down that rabbit hole with you, man. Like, we'll save it for another episode.
Yeah.
So notice something, right? As Brian and I were talking about this, what we loved or brought us alive as kids brings us alive now. What's the reason you bring this up, Paul? I'm glad you asked. Because part of finding your Dharma means is really about reconnecting to what you already found. And Brian even said it, but when I was saying, you were like, yo, you found it. That's part of the Dharma, peoples.
Like, notice how we were smiling when we were saying it, man. I guarantee you, Art, if you had one of those what's those things where you can see the chakras, if you were clairvoyant, our heart chakra would be like hitting the screen now. And you get so many people that are so depressed, so much negative energy. And if they just started talking about what they love to do and actually followed into it and stop being so negative with bullshit, like, oh, I can't do it, I got this, and all these excuses, and just fucking do it. Like, the world you would be a better place. You'd be in a better place. And by you being in a better place, it would make the world a better place.
Exactly. Living your Dharma the right way. Yeah. But it's very interesting, man, because as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about how quick it can be for someone to change their energy. If they they focus on something that happened when they were a kid, like something fun they used to do.
Yeah.
And I'm prepping for this circle for this NAMI event, right? And this guy's like, well, there's going to be a lot of different people there. Like, we got to make sure we have something that's going to bring them together. I'm like, yo, okay, ask them either like what was their favorite cartoon as a kid or what was their favorite cereal. Watch everybody start changing their energy.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Quick Draw McGraw, that was my junk. No, Donald Duck, bro. Come on. What? Oh, I got Woody Woodpecker. Pinky and the Brain. You didn't watch Pinky and the Brain? Man, come on. People start like automatically mood shifts, right? And I say this because like, just like how we talked about a frequency, there is an energetic frequency that starts to activate in a person when you can connect to that. That's like your right alignment.
Yeah.
That helps you vibrate in a way that no one else vibrates. Yeah. It's our energetic signature, man.
Yeah, and if you bring, I don't know if you still have that. Remember that funnel that we used last episode with all the hertz on there? Yeah.
I think I might
like if we bring that up, I mean, you'll know, like when you start living your Dharma, when you start living those unique intrinsic attributes that were bestowed upon you from a higher being, you're not vibing at a low level. You are not vibing at a low level. And I remember a while ago, I've said this on the podcast, like when I was working with where I was doing some courses with Paul Chek, this guy's like hasn't been sick in 35, 40 years. He's like, dude, I'm vibing at such a high level. I'm living my purpose. I'm living my Dharma. Diseases can't live in me because I have so much energy. I kill it all, So when you're the higher you're vibing, the less illnesses, aches and pains, diseases, viruses, all this other bullshit out there is going to get into your system.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up now.
Yeah.
I thought I had to say it, but I just had to. There we go.
You got dial-up over there?
I do.
Yeah.
I was actually just using a smoke signal
Yeah.
to get my Wi-Fi to work.
Oh, you're mail ordering that diagram. Okay.
Yeah, I did. It was snail mail too. I had a donkey. I had to freaking get it going outside and shit. All right, so hold up. You see it there? You see it? Okay, you see it.
Yeah.
Right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right,
when you're living your Dharma, by anybody looking at this, you're not vibing at anything below, probably a 300 on this.
This is true, bro. This is true. This is true, bro. Ooh, brother,
you're vibing at you're accepting everything that comes to you because you know it's meant to be. That leads into reason, and when you start, you just automatically have love. You just love what you do.
Yeah, bro. Oh my goodness. This. I'm so happy you had us bring this up because as I'm looking at this, and listen, people, if you have yet to see the frequency episode, highly recommended. Go check it out after you finish watching this one. This will all make even more sense. But we talked about, like you mentioned about the neutrality. I want us to go down a couple notches because as we go, and you mentioned this before with the ego is like, you can't do blah, 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 blah. You can get, and that's like pride, right? But after you move past that, there's a level of courage that it takes for you to be able to step into that path and say, like, you know what? I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to do something different that no one else is going to freaking do. There's a courage there. Then the neutrality, as I'm learning in my circumstances or what have you, is really is taking this objective, neutral view of seeing all sides and being like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm still walking forward here on the tightrope. I'm still going forward because now as I do that, now I'm willing to really step into some different shit. Brother, now I got to really be in acceptance of all my gifts, man. I really it's like this, and you mentioned it in the last episode where you're like, okay, if we're going to, it's tough to jump a frequency. But if you're going to go one frequency, then the next frequency, the next, you'll see that how this Dharma component is extremely important to your overall health and well-being for you as an individual and also for the collective, man. Yeah. Very important shit, man. Very, very important.
Yeah, and you can use this diagram. Like if you're not living your Dharma, you're vibing very low. And even if you don't have the tools, which we're going to show you a little bit, like some things you can do to kind of get into that Dharma, you can be like, all right, if you're just pissed off of the world, you're angry, and you're angry, it's very hard to live your Dharma when you're at an anger. Try to move up the pride. Like Paul said, move up one step, move up the pride. And as you start getting into neutrality and willingness, you're going to slowly start having a shift in you. You're slowly going to start having these impulses in you to do more because it's coming from more of a place of love than fear. So you really want to break that. You really want to get past the courage part. And we talked about that in the last episode with frequency, why courage might not always be the best thing. People look at it like, oh, it's great. You're a courageous guy. It's not really that amazing once you understand what courage actually is. So you want to get to the neutrality point, then slowly work your way up from there.
Yo, bruh. So, man, dude, I think, you know what? The more I'm just let my thoughts run, I want to do an episode on the emotion of neutrality. I really yes, I've declared it, damn it. So we're gonna do it, B.
I love it.
Wow. So damn, I love that neutrality. Man, I'm digging that. So B, you mentioned like let's start to bring them in. Let's start to bring in some of the components or some of the things that are going to be important for them.
Like what they can do.
Yeah, what they can do, man. Because I think this is extremely important, people. Please. Even if the stuff that we're going to give you, even if it's one, por favor, please, one, just do one, okay? B, let's go into some things. We'll popcorn style this piece, man.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few down here. First thing I think is the most important. One of the most important things is make regular contact with your higher self. So what do I mean by that?
Yes.
Quiet the mind, man. People look at meditation like, I don't have time to meditate, or I can't meditate. Those are the people that need to meditate. Meditate, do things that are like qigong, tai chi. Paul's like great at this. This is your dharma right here, Paul. That's how I kind of met you in this space.
Yeah.
I mean, what else you got to add to this?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to find the higher self. The meditation, first quieting the mind, like, and I'm going to take that back. Not even quieting the mind, but just quieting your judgments of what's coming up in the mind.
Yeah.
Because the thing that I'm passionate about is your mind is a powerful place. It gets to be harnessed. So when we're talking about meditation here, it could be, and I tell people all this time when they first start, listen, sit on your stoop or sit outside and watch a tree for 10 minutes. Only look at the tree. Okay? And if you start looking somewhere else, mark it down. Then start getting less marks. Okay? Because now you're able to focus and harness your mind. So I think, and in that is creating a vessel for your higher self to come through. Because you're going to get some messages, and this is going to lead to the instincts you were talking about, those messages, those pings, like do this, do that. So yeah, connect to the higher self, damn it.
And I love using psychedelics. That's my thing. I love it. I once or twice a year, man, I do some heavy dosages, and I leave those places, and man, I just have this glow on me like for like months. And because I expand my consciousness, I'm more connected. I learn something, and I had the tools to come back. So planning something at the end of the year for a good weekend trip somewhere. So we'll see.
Let's go.
Keep in tune.
I
already got you tickets, Paul. You're ready. You don't know about that. You're coming.
Woo, baby, let's go. I'm ready, man. Let's go. Yeah. Listen, I'm a big fan of the medicines.
Yeah, that's it.
Big fan of the medicines. They will help you get there, man. Sometimes when you're stuck, they will help you.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I will add to this is, and you mentioned this, connect to what you're good at. Connect to what you are good at. And when I say this, I want to get specific here, because some people have the ability to be good at something and they can't freaking stand it. I want you to think about what is something that you're good at that supports you, it helps you come alive and feel alive. There's a difference there. So start connecting to that. And if you're like, I have no idea, that's when you can come back to that tool that Brian and I did before. Well, what did you love to do when you were younger?
Yeah.
Or this is an exploratory place where you start to try different things and see what helps you.
Yeah. I would ask like 5 or 6 of your loved ones, your friends that don't BS you, and be like, hey, if you were to give me 2 or 3 things that you would say I'm good at compared to most people, well, what would you say these are good at? And you got to understand, like, these attributes that you're good at, it's not an accident. These are things you've worked on and forged through many lifetimes, through hard work and experience, past lifetimes. You need to honor them, develop them, and play to your strengths. Don't let these go to waste. So if you're so like in a state of mind where like you can't even think straight, and like you find close friends that can give you a little boost.
Brother, thank you for that, man. Yeah, that's a great tactic. Ask other people. I know that was something I did because I was like, I don't really know what I'm good at. If you're one of those cats, it's like, I don't really know what I'm good at. Ask your damn friends and your family, man. Stop playing games. B, what's another one you got, man, before we do one more each?
Yeah. Exploring different types of archetypal energies.
Ooh, yo, I like that you said that, bro. Tell me more about that.
So basically what I mean by that is study or work under people that you feel drawn to, whether it's, historical figures. I love reading autobiographies on things. So historical figures, it could be a character in a book, modern people, films, etc. They could be warriors, sages, healers, teachers, builders, leaders, whatever it is. Find people that you're attracted to. I like finding people that are like almost like misunderstood.
Yeah, I get that.
And I love autobiographies. We're going to do an episode on it, but I love autobiographies because everyone that's ever been successful or has been remembered for generation to generation to generation has always gone through the hero's journey. They feel stuck. They try to do something. They fall flat on their face. They meet adversity. They rise up. They do it anyway because deep down they know their dharma. They know what their mission is on this planet. They know what their purpose is on the planet. No matter how many times they get punched in the face and fall on their face, they keep getting up, and that inspires me. And I read a lot of books. I've read books with like on Nelson Mandela, Harriet Tubman, sorry, and all these guys, all these people, and I look at them like, man, if these guys can do this and go through this, I can do this. They don't have it nearly half as bad as I do. Not even 10% as bad as I do. So stop feeling sorry for yourself because there's somebody out there that has been through it 100 times worse.
Bro, and they got wisdom to share.
Yeah. One thing I love to do, and it's, I'm not patting myself on the back at all. Like I love like when I'm exploring, when I go out and eat, I like to find people that are like poor or whatever like that. And I like to take them out. And the only thing I ask them is like, hey, tell me a story about yourself. That's it.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, I've met people that were like, played for like musicians that played for famous bands that just like had a rough time and like, they couldn't do it on their own anymore and they got on the drug. It was like, but you learn so much about people and again, you have these impulses to meet certain people, how we talked about that earlier, and they change your life. And like every person I've taken out or gone out with, like they're with me for the rest of my life. So I love that.
That's so beautiful, man.
They do way more for me than I do for them. It's it sounds cliche. The $15, $20 that I spent on a meal for them, they already forgot about me probably. But I'm keeping these these gems that they're dropping on me for the rest of my life, which making me a better person.
All right, I hear you, and I'm gonna respectfully disagree.
In what way? Bring it on. Teach me. It's one of the things I love about you. It's one of the things you're good at. You see things that I don't see.
Yes, because like I want to come back to what we talked about with this Dharma, right? And what you love exploring. I love hearing what you said because you being you and exploring, finding like that person that's like, yo, man, I'm gonna treat you. You being you gave that person a sense of value, bro. Because they most likely were like, man, I can't. Damn. Then here you come like, hey, you want some eat? Yeah, come on, man. Yo, so tell me about yourself. Then they get to talk about themselves. Someone's actually listening and interested. People, do you understand how important that is for people to be heard? Most people are never heard because people listen to freaking reply rather than like, oh my God, tell me more about that. Bro, here you are, bro. This is the Dharma. Oh my God, that's so beautiful, bro. Like,
yeah, you're right. I am pretty fucking amazing.
You are.
Where's that on the chart? Is that too much pride? Am I like at 100 now?
I think you are. Can we go back to the chart, please? Where are we at with the chart? I think Brian right now. Wait. Where is it? Hold up. Where are we? Oh, I think Brian's up to 175.
I'm vibing low, man. Shit.
No, man, we gotta get your ass up on there, man. We gotta get your ass But dude, like, I just want to, I know we joke around, but I think it's important that we just did that, because this is what happens with us, that we think the things that we do have little impact. Like, oh, they'll probably forget about me. No, they're most likely not. Like, I don't know how many people have red hair and bald with a goatee wherever you were, and that were kind. What? Bruh.
Yeah. I got a mean looking mug sometimes,
Bruh.
How many people be like, when I first met you, I thought you were a complete dick. And I'm like, what? I didn't even talk to you. He's like, yeah, you just have that face. Like,
yeah.
Well, fuck you. And
I do smile.
Yeah, I guess whatever.
That's hilarious,
that's
man.
Funny. It's great.
Dude.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's so. But see, like, that's the beauty of this all, and like, I want people that are watching, like, please understand that sometimes the smallest thing you do, because it came from your heart, because it was just like you just were called to do it, that small thing that you think you think is small that you did may have had the biggest impact on somebody else, bro.
Yeah.
And sisters out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Love it.
That's the piece about Dharma, man. Like, our Dharma may have been to do one action that set somebody else on a whole different trajectory. And we're probably doing it every freaking day.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
love it.
What more can we say?
That's about it.
It's a wrap. Everybody, you know what? Go be good to yourself. Check in with your Dharma. B, thank you for sharing that story, bro. That right there was a perfect way to bring this home, bro. And the impact that we make, man. Tap into your Dharma, people.
Yeah.
Get on the path, man.
I want to close with a quote I heard.
Please, yeah.
And I want to share this with people out there. So it said, remind yourself that there are no spare parts in the universe. And like a piece of a multi-dimensional jigsaw puzzle, there is something incredibly special where only you fit in. Find that place, and the universe will reward you in ways you can't imagine. You're a piece of the puzzle, man. Don't sell yourself short. You got one chance at this in this skin meat body. Sounds sexy, I know.
Skin meat body thing, walking around in and shit.
So
life is good, man. Thank you, man. B, always this one hit home, man, bro. Always
good.
Pleasure, bro. Wow. Everybody watching, thank you. As always, hey, listen, you like this, like it. This is gonna help. You liking this is gonna help other people see this. So like, share, subscribe, and thank you. We appreciate you. Until next time, peace.